Hi everybody, welcome back. You can see I've got the completed Cowboy here. Do note he's been selected around the middle there. We'll need to deselect that at some point. And what we're going to do today is we're going to use the built-in the colours and textures that come with Blender. In this instance mainly just colours and specular highlights to take the boring grey Lambert texture that our Cowboy's got at the moment. You need that when you're modelling, but you don't need it once you've finished modelling. So the first thing we need to do is select the first thing we're going to paint, which would be the boots. So I've used the box select. Notice the middle is still selected, so I'll have to shift and right click to deselect that. You can tell by the axis in the middle there you've only got the boots. It's important you get the top of the boots as well, because there's kind of thickness to the material. Now when you spin him round though, and you look a little bit closer, okay, we'll put the material on first. There's the default material that's on there at the moment called character, and further down are the two settings that we're going to mess with. You can see there's a diffuse setting with a colour of white. It's actually grey, or it shows up grey with the shading, and a specular below that for the highlights. So what you need to do is create a new material and click new, so it's the plus symbol and new, and below the preview window we set the colour in the diffuse. Diffuse is just the main colour. Don't forget you need to drag the slider down to darken the colour. So orangey red colour darkened gives brown. And for the specular we don't want much shine really. It's leather, but we only want a little bit of shine. So we turn that intensity down. And then the final job, you have to assign it. And that will make the boots go brown. However, there is a problem, look, I should have checked. I didn't have X-ray mode turned on, so when I've box selected his boots, it's left the soles and the sides and the back unselected. So we'll box select again, and then we can just click assign. So if you miss any, you can do the same. If you leave one quadrant unselected and you assign the colour, just go back, select the one quadrant and assign the colour to that, the material to that. So we'll do his legs now. So box select again, and I've turned on the brush select tool with C to try and grab the rest of them. I really need to be on faces mode though, rather than edge mode. If you select something you don't need, then you can use the middle mouse click to deselect. So let's get faces mode on. Right click to knock the tool off, faces mode, and then we'll over select things like so. And we've got X-ray mode on now, so it's just a case of right clicking or middle mouse clicking with this tool here. And we need to get those undersides of the jacket. We don't want them selected, they're not part of the trousers. So it could be, shift right clicking would probably be the answer to pick those up again rather than the brush, but we'll persevere. We've turned X-ray mode off, which helps the brush tool, the brush select tool, to work better. We'll spin him round and have a look. We've got a couple of pieces of jacket, so we'll middle mouse click those off, like so. I've got a little bit of the underside of his jacket which has proven awkward to deselect. Oops, didn't mean to do that. I'll just Control Z and right click to reset that, and just to make sure that we didn't do anything with any, yeah, there we go, with any geometry. That's just the back to do, and then the trousers are ready. So box select. we'll just shift right click on those surfaces up there. So the undersides are not selected, spin him round, check everywhere. Now he looks good to go. So we need a new material, completely new material, so plus again, and new again. We'll name it. I've got to go back and name the other one as well. Colour boots. I'm going to go to the trousers and get it off the default grey Lambert. We'll go for a shade of dark green with the darkness slider. Intensity 0. It's cloth. Don't have a shine off cloth. I don't wear shiny trousers anyway. I don't think cowboys do. Okay, that's looking good. Now, a little bit of a trick here. If you want to select areas that are connected to each other, you can hover over them and you can hit L on the keyboard. Now you can see his whole sleeve is connected up, which is a really great thing because you don't have to mess about getting the cuff bottoms on his shirt. It's a much faster way to do it. There's a slight problem with it because we've got his t-shirt there and we don't want that. So we're going to try and deselect his t-shirt. Everything looks okay around there. Yep, so same thing again. Plus, new. Name it. We jacket. Change colour. Okay, this guy's going out on the town. He's got a pinky colour, no intensity, we don't want to shine, and assign that. That's good to go. Right, his t-shirt then. So I wonder if we can L select that. Yeah, no problem. Oh, it took the inside of his jacket. Yeah, this is going to get a bit messy, I think. I think we'll have to go old school with his t-shirt. The L select doesn't work for everything. So remember to get the brush select tool off, you can right click. So let's just manually select the t-shirt. It was only about 8-10 quadrants, something like that. So new and new t-shirt. We'll give it a pale yellow colour, I think. Oh, it's more of an egg yellow. And again, no intensity. I'm hoping we can use the L select on his hands because they are tricky. So L, just picked up the corner of his thumb there, I think. So deselect, there we go. So forehand, thumb. That's amazing. And again, thumb and hand. And another plus over to his face as well, actually. So plus, always plus and new, every time. Got to do that. Call this flesh, or skin. And you can go online and get hexadecimal codes to get this colour right if you think it's critically important, but I've done this a few times, so I'm just gonna guess really an orangey yellow colour, quite pale. So I've gone near the white in the middle of the thing. Now you need a little bit of specular, not much for skin, but you do need a little bit of reflection. Skin has oils and what have you in it. So just undo that, knock the selection off a second and assign it. And there we go, it's got a bit of a tan going on. So hopefully we can L select the hair. And we'll give that a dark colour, I think. Give it a name, always keep organised up there. And just going to leave the colours alone and we'll just turn the darkness down to get a dark, really dark grey, close to black. A little bit of intensity on the specular, but not too much. There's oils in hair as well. Should have a little bit of shine. and we assign that. So it's just his hat to do now. We have to be really careful that we get the underside of the hat and the main part of the hat. So let's L select that. His hair's selected at the moment though. Alright, so we picked both elements of that up. That's good. A new material, call it hat, and assign it. Once we get a colour on there, it's a leather hat, so we'll leave a little bit of shine on there. That might be a bit too much, but we'll have a look in a minute. So he's pretty much finished with procedural materials, really. You can call it colour if you want, it pretty much is at this point, but you could do a lot more with them. You know, you could make them out of glass if you wanted to, if you put the right settings in there and you get used to using the node editor to plug things into each other that have special effects. Right, so the lights are a bit of a problem. He's only got a rubbishy point light in there just now. I think we'd rather have a Hemi, which will really light the scene up a lot better. So we'll delete that point light. And we'll go to the Create panel and we'll go to Hemi. And this is a bit like a sun, it's very powerful light. And it spreads pretty well, so we'll have it in front and above. You can notice there at the side the camera's facing on our model. He's a little bit from the side, I think. Maybe we want to see a bit more of his face. Right, the Cycles renderer is a much more high quality renderer, but you've really got to set the lights up carefully, and it's a little bit beyond the scope of this tutorial. You can see there his face is in shadow. There's only really his hands. Just getting him positioned a little bit differently. We could maybe add some other lights as well and see if that helps, but let's see. If we can't get this right straight away, we'll cover this in another tutorial. It's a bit experimental with, for me anyway, with the Cycles renderer. Very powerful. You can see the quality of the model is so much better. There's a couple of other lights we can try, but we can also adjust the intensity of the lights as well, turn up the power of them and see if that's what the issue is. We'll even try a spotlight. It's pointing at the floor at the moment. You can see by the line coming out the middle which direction it's pointing, so I'll go on the rotate tool using the tool at the bottom, because you get this wheel which is a bit more intuitive actually, for me anyway. I don't always, the R key on the keyboard doesn't always give you the results you're expecting. So that's done very little actually. I think I definitely need to do a bit of reading on lighting setup for Cycles renderer. You should be blinded by light at the moment, and it just isn't. So down there you can see the strength of the light. So we stick 1000 in there and have a look at that. No difference, so something's not right. And we'll stick with Blender, and then we'll do another Blender renderer, and you can see the lighting in there is much more effective. He's looking really quite smart. And give it one more try. Zoomed in, go on Cycles. Oops. Cycles. On F12 to re-render. Yeah, still not having it. Don't think, no, they're textures. It's definitely an emission light. I wouldn't have thought anything above 1000 was needed, but try the size, see if that has an impact. Don't think it will. F12, re-render, no change. I think we'll move that light back a little bit with G on the keyboard, just like you would a vertices or a whole object. Just make sure you've got your model selected again, or you won't see the spanner. So we've got an armature modifier on there from when it was animated. We don't need that. What we do is subdivision surface, which divides every face by 4. We can turn up the quality of that with the view and the renderer. So I'm just left clicking and dragging to do them. You don't have to type numbers in. And then if we go to the tools menu, we can smooth it as well, smooth shading. And now if we press F12 and we have a look, take him off cycles, F12, he's looking pretty good. Bit shiny possibly on the head and the boots, so we maybe haven't quite got the reflection on leather spot on, but he's looking pretty fine. Looks a bit yellow, maybe he's a little bit jaundiced. Alright, thanks for listening.